welcome to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. I am so happy to be back and making another video for you. It's been a hot minute, but I want to try and put more effort into YouTube moving forward because TikTok has been really weird lately and just nothing but draining energy, and I find that other people kind of sort of agree. You know, my favorites are always disappearing and just not posting as regularly. But today I want to talk about a topic that I haven't covered in a while, and I also had people ask me about it, and that is self-concept. So okay, I'm not gonna go into like any other manifestation details. I have a lot of videos on that, so you would need to have like a little bit of background info. I hope that is okay, but if you have any questions, always leave them in the comments, please. And if you like this kind of content, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel and give it a thumbs up, or share it with anybody you think needs to see this. So, self-concept. I think there's a huge misconception that people believe that self-concept is the same thing as self-confidence, or that self-concept is only about how we see ourselves, but self-concept surrounds a lot more than just the perception we have of ourselves. It also includes how other people see us. It includes how we expect other people to react in situations that we're in. It determines how we react in certain situations that we're in. So at the end of the day, it really all comes down to where does our brain feel most safe, and where did our brain get rewarded the most? So basically, self-concept would be anything and everything that makes you you. Every word you say, depending on the situation that you're in. Every action that you take, every thought you have about yourself, every thought you have about the people who are in relationships with you, all of that encompasses self-concept. And the reason why self-concept is so important and can be so detrimental to your manifestation is because you are essentially trying to change who you are when you're manifesting something. Because the version of you that has your manifestation is not the same version of you that currently exists. And people always think that we manifest what we have, but that's not true. We actually manifest who we are. And so at the end of the day, you always need to ask yourself, well, who am I? Or what version would I be of myself if I had this, that, and the other? So you can basically bring any manifestation into your life, but self-concept is what is going to determine how long it's going to stay in your life and how well you're dealing with it once you have it, because you can manifest a relationship, you can manifest a promotion at a job, you can manifest, a new home, but does that mean that you're going to be able to pay rent? Does that mean that you're going to be able to fulfill the role that the promotion requires? Does that mean that your relationship is not going to fall back into all the, toxic patterns that it had to begin with, which is why you broke up in the first place? All of those things are rooted in self-concept, and your self-concept is not something that you actually created yourself. There is no version of you that is real, that actually exists inside yourself without surrounding other people. So yes, you will be reacting to certain things even if there's like nobody else around, but you still need outside influence in order to react. Something still needs to happen, and oftentimes we don't even understand what we need to fix until we are in a situation where we're confronted with somebody and they react in a certain way, and we're like, wait a minute, I don't like this. I don't like how this is going. I don't like how they're talking to me. I don't like how I'm talking to them, how I'm reacting to them. All of those factors key into who you are as a person and basically your entire surroundings, right? And if you think about it, every person has a different viewpoint of yourself, a view of who you are, but it's still all rooted in your base belief. You will not act the same with your mother than you will with your boyfriend or girlfriend, right? Because obviously that makes sense to us. But even if you're in a friend group dynamic, for example, you're not going to treat every friend the same because you're not going to have the same connection to everybody. And we always assume that that is based on something that the person has experienced with us, or, this idea that they have of us that they maybe made up in their mind and there's nothing we can do about it. But that's actually inherently wrong, because every interaction that you have with somebody always boils down to your self-concept. So if you expect certain people to treat you in a certain way, depending on like the vibe that you're getting, that's the relationship that you're going to have with them. And every thought you have about who you are, what makes you you, how you talk, how you react, how you present yourself to the world, and even how you act when you're in private and nobody is around and nobody's looking, right, was given to you at a certain point in time, usually from like the age of, technically, okay, this is a little bit weird, but technically from the point of conception. Like, you obviously can talk to the child if it's like in the womb, but I know that we start building consciousness at month 5 of the pregnancy, I believe. I looked it up. It's somewhere around there. And then until age 6 is basically when you start forming your entire personality. But your personality hinges on things that you are being told and things that you are experiencing, which are 100% controlled by the people who raise you. Okay, regardless of who that is, even if it's just a different family member that's close to you, or whether that's, a caretaker or a nanny or whatever, or the kind of friends you make, in kindergarten or whatever the case may be. But even when you get to that point where you're already interacting with people outside of your household, the core belief that you have about who you are stems from home. And I think a lot of people are afraid to kind of face that and say, that's not fair. Like, why am I the one who has to do the work? Why aren't other people doing better? Because they're hurting me, right? Why aren't they taking accountability and responsibility? But the problem is, even if you don't believe in manifestation, this is classic psychology. You can always go and revert back to that. Your brain is the deciding factor. You cannot be the creator of your own reality and manifest everything that you want, like willy-nilly whenever you want it. But then say, well, I don't want to take responsibility for healing my trauma though. I don't want to take responsibility for the fact that my brain is doing this. Because there's a difference between being accountable and being responsible in this case. You're not responsible. So I might have used the wrong word prior. That's fine. You're not responsible for the belief system that you hold now that you're an adult, because that was given to you as a child. But you have to hold yourself accountable in healing your trauma and working through that, right? You will see more and more people say, I have this issue. This was given to me. I was born with this. And I actually found a psychiatrist on TikTok, beautiful lady, who is a 100% natural holistic psychiatrist, and will actually explain to you how certain psychiatric medication affects you, and none of it is positive. It's not meant to long-term help you. It's meant to subdue your symptoms, but it still causes trauma and other issues in the back that you're not even realizing that are happening to you. And once you wean yourself off of them, this is why when you wean yourself off of them, and even if you especially when you stop them cold turkey, you're getting all these issues and all of a sudden everything is so much worse. They're designed to keep you in this bubble, right? Because if you think about it, your brain made you sick, so your brain has the ability to heal you. And chances are, if you're watching this video, you come from a generation where you were the one who was chosen to break those generational curses and traumas. And we always have to look at the people who did this to us from a place of they did what they could. They acted out of their own trauma. And we can still hold them responsible for not doing the work and not fixing themselves. We can still be furious with them for making the choices that they made that made our life so difficult. But you have to understand that when you came on this earth, and it's from 1987 to 2004, I believe, that generation was born without karma. Okay? And when you came onto this earth, your soul decided to choose karma to heal yourself and your lineage and make the world a better place. And it's a very, very difficult position to be in. It comes with a lot of pain. It comes with a lot of empathy for other people's pain, which is so much worse sometimes, right, than our own. And it comes with this huge burden on your shoulders that, well, now I have to do all this work and heal others on top of that. But at the end of the day, think about all the good you can do. And if you look at it from that perspective, then it's not really about you at the end of the day, right? It's about the bigger picture, and it's about, doing something that will really, really fulfill your mind, body, and soul. And your self-concept should be rooted in the fact that you are this incredibly special human being. And I saw this trend on TikTok that goes around where people are like, oh, I'm not like anybody else. I'm not like the other women. And a lot of people misunderstood that trend because that trend wasn't meant to be saying I'm the best and you're nothing. That trend comes from an affirmation of I'm one of a kind. I'm always chosen. I'm irreplaceable. I'm unique. And a lot of people in the comments were like, well, everyone is replaceable. Get over it. I don't believe that. Nobody's replaceable. You're irreplaceable, but this affirmation was meant to awaken you to the fact that you are not outside of anybody else. Everybody's just a mirror reflection of you. And you love yourself enough to not compare yourself to others and to be able to not be in competition with them, but be able to say, I am everything in a bag of chips, but so are they, okay? And I don't need to wish them ill. I can wish them well on their journey. I can manifest well for them because I know it will come back to me too. And the more I radiate goodness because I stand in my own power, the more the world around me will, comply with that and form itself around that. Because you always have to remember that, and I use this quote a lot, nobody who is above you or has more than you will ever criticize you, right? It's always ever the people who feel like they don't have what you have. Even if you feel like you have nothing, right? They might see your potential before you see it. And I actually watched a video the other day of a wrestling match, and someone left a comment and said, oh my God, someone said something, and this person replied and said, you're the dumbest person I know. You're so stupid. That's totally incorrect. You're such an idiot. I actually Googled it, and the initial person was right. So I left a comment and I said, hey, it's actually true, but why are you calling people stupid? Especially if you're so wrong. And you calling people stupid was just a reflection of how you feel about yourself, right? Insulting someone in that way is a reflection of their intelligence and how they feel about themselves more than they feel that way about you. But remember, since everybody is a mirror reflection of you, if they're leaving a comment like this and they're saying this because this is how they feel about themselves, but they're your mirror, what does that mean? They're reflecting back to you that you feel that you would deserve a comment like this because that is inherently how you feel about yourself too. So the more you create your self-concept around positivity, the more you will see the people in your orbit change and reflect that back, because if you're healing, everybody else is healing. And I see this question a lot, especially when I do my twin flame readings, where people just say, it's not really fair. I'm done with them. I don't want to deal with their crap. They're not doing the work. They're not healing. They're still making all the same mistakes. But fail to understand that if you're not doing the healing work, they're not doing the healing work because they can't. And this is where the unfair part comes in of well, why aren't they doing the work? Remember, you're the creator, you're in control. They can't. They're incapable of doing the work, because if you don't do the work and you don't value yourself enough to receive that, they can't give it to you. At the end of the day, that's always how it's going to be. And if you then decide you want to end that journey and throw it overboard and just pick somebody else and go a different direction, you're still going to get the same thing, even if it's not as intense, or even if it's in a different place in your life. I had a discussion with somebody the other day, and this person was like, well, I left my, toxic relationship and I healed it, and now I'm so much better. And I was like, okay, you healed that part, but the main construct of how this toxic person treated you, you healed that? And they were like, yeah, I'm good. I got over that. I understood it. I healed it, and I'm good. I don't care. That person is still treating them the same way, even if they're not together anymore. But they also have a boss. They have a mother, and they have certain friends who all treat them the same way that this toxic person treated them. So there has been some healing done, but it was minimal and it was ego-based. It wasn't really self-concept based, right? It was surface level. And chances of them getting into a new relationship and going through that cycle all over again are incredibly high. That is why it is so important to stop putting the blame on others and seeking outside validation and trying to get, apologies and trying to get changed behavior, because at the end of the day, if you don't let go of this negative self-concept you have of yourself, as well as the old story, right? It's not just about self-concept. It's about, let's say you're trying to manifest someone back who's hurt you, who hasn't been good to you, who's been toxic to you. But now your new self-concept allows for better treatment. Have you still let go of that old story of them hurting you? Because that old story is also part of your self-concept. It's not about them. This is never about the other person. If you don't let go of the story of them hurting you, you are also not letting go of that part of your self-concept that allowed for it in the first place. And remember, again, this is not about victim blaming, and this is not about you accepting or allowing abuse. This is about your brain having learned as a child that abuse is love, that abuse is safe, that abuse is comfort, and that abuse is easier. It may not be happier, but it certainly is easier, okay? And that's the dynamic that you grew up in. And then you watch movies, right? And they're full of toxic, like, underlying systems. They have a lot of subliminal messages that feed that certain mindset as well. And all of a sudden, you watch all your favorite 2000 teen movies. They make you happy and they fill you with nostalgia, but you don't even realize that every time you watch them, your brain is being fed with the narrative that, well, it's toxic, but we got our happy ending in the end, right? So shouldn't be too bad then. Can't be that bad if we still get the guy and, you know, the friends and whatever in the end, whatever you want, and the college degree or whatever the hell it is. But that's not how real life works. That's Hollywood trying to brainwash you into thinking that toxicity is the way to go, knowing full well that you're never going to be happy. And what do unhappy people do? They consume. They go shopping, they consume more movies, they consume more music, they stay in these toxic patterns, they buy every self-help course under the sun, right? They buy every self-help book. It's lucrative for other people, but not for you. And at the end of the day, you have to understand that manifestation comes from divine feminine energy. This is not about genders, this is about energy. Masculine energy is about taking action. Feminine energy is about sitting back, relaxing, and receiving, and creating by energy. Okay? Just like you bring life into the world, but you're doing that through patience and receiving, letting your body do the work that it knows how to do. Same with your brain. Okay, your brain can fix itself. You just need to allow it to do that. Your self-concept needs to be formed in a way where you understand that you don't need outside anything. You don't need outside anything to be healthy. You don't need outside anything to be happy. You don't need outside anything to manifest. You just need you and your brain. And whichever manifestation technique you want to use in order to do that, that's really up to you. I have a really long video about it, but you don't need anything or anybody else to create the life that you want. But you will never be able to do that if you are in your masculine energy, which has taught us that, and even the law of attraction teaches that, okay, which is why it's so harmful to you, because that's not how you're supposed to do it. That we need to always take action, that we need to hustle, regardless of what it is. We have to do something. Yes, you need to take action sometimes when you manifest inspired action. But more times than not, the action that you're taking happens automatically because our brain already knows what to do. We don't need to force it. So to give you an example, this morning I woke up with such bad pain in my legs. I've been going through a lot of stress and it just triggered my arthritis really bad. So, I mean, I could barely walk. They were on fire. And contrary to, what you might be thinking I should be doing, seeing as they were hot and burning, I listened to a subliminal and I manifested for them to be better. And I walk into the bathroom, and I don't ever turn my heater on in the bathroom because it's just uncomfortable. But I turned it on and I sat, down, and all of a sudden the heat from the heater just blasted onto my legs. But my pain went away all of a sudden. I assumed, and this is like a false thing we have to get rid of, right? I assumed that listening to the subliminal would just make my pain go away. But the subliminal was what caused me to turn on my heater without even realizing that I was doing it, which then caused my legs to heat up, which then caused them to be pain-free. Chain of events. Inspired action I took, I didn't even realize I was taking it. That is what you need to understand and need to lean into. You really, really have to lean into it. And going back to the person that I was talking about before, so they're currently at a job that they don't want anymore and they want to quit. They've just been subconsciously creating scenarios that will probably get them fired. And they even said, I want to get fired. I don't care. I will literally do anything and everything to get fired. And I was like, why don't you just quit? Like, I don't understand. Why are you doing this? Because they're seeking outside reasons for somebody else to make a decision for them to leave because they are not sure what they want to do. They're not 100% certain about quitting. They know they want to quit, but they don't even know why. So it would be better for them to start manifesting. Try to figure out what you want first. Then manifest a new situation for yourself. And then you're either going to quit anyway, or you're gonna get laid off. Whatever is best for you in this situation. Whatever your brain deems the most beneficial and the easiest route with the least resistance to get to where you wanna be. But that's not up to you. okay? And the how is never, never up to you, and you just need to accept that. Your self-concept should be at a place where you are so confident in the universe and you have so much unwavering faith that this will work out for you, just divine feminine energy, that the masculine energy is not even a part of this. I do believe that having balance is good, but if you are just learning how to manifest, you should be higher in your feminine energy than your masculine. Because if you're balanced out, the risk of tipping the scale in the wrong direction is high. It's like learning to walk again. You know, you're literally learning how to tap into your inner higher self, which we were taught not to learn. We were taught how to forget about that. How to stop, role playing, make believe, doing all these things. You have to force the change. You have to want to change. But once you make that decision, your brain will comply. And once your brain complies, your surroundings will follow. So I really hope this helped you guys. I know this was a little bit all over the place and discussing a couple of different things, but it's a really, really important topic. It's something that a lot of people often forget, especially when I see, videos on TikTok like manifest a text, do this, do that, do the other. That's all well and good, but that does not address why you got ghosted in the first place. That does not address why, even if you do get a text message, it's weird. Or you're getting blocked, you're getting whatever the case may be. You need to address the why. You basically need to build a whole picture of yourself the way you are right now in order to understand where you're going. And that's shadow work. And that's tough and that hurts. And you have to dig into places you don't want to dig into, but that is what actual real shadow work looks like. Where am I at? Where do I want to go? And how do I get there? And you have all the tools that you need. So I really, really hope this helped you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Let me know if there was anything else you wanted to know or you wanted me to explain. But 2023 is literally around the corner, and I want to make sure that we all have the best year. I want to make sure that we come together as a collective and stand up against the things that we don't want, okay? I want us to all find our power, unleash our power, and understand that we don't even need to do things as a collective, even if it's about bigger things surrounding us. You're the creator, and if you decide that you want something and you make that leap, that quantum leap into the correct timeline, your entire collective, and there's a lot of people behind you that you might not even know. That's when I read tarot, and all the people that like and comment, that's your collective. All of those people will come with you, and you're gonna grow together. You have the ability as one single person to make a huge change. And I think it's really, really important that you understand that. Rise to the challenge, because I know you can do it. I know you can do it. I know it's tough, but just please don't give up. I don't know. I know the holidays are hard. I don't know why. I've just had this feeling for everybody who feels that this year is just not good. It's so painful. Maybe you are alone. Maybe you're not alone, but you feel alone. And you just feel like, I want to manifest my dream life, but 2022 has been so shitty. This will be your last Christmas like this. This will be your last Christmas alone. This will be your last Christmas broke. This will be your last Christmas unhappy, okay? And next Christmas, you're gonna have everything that you want. And I'm gonna try my hardest, and I'm gonna make damn sure that that happens. Please just hold on, and I promise you, next year will be, you won't even believe that that will be your life. Anyways, I really, really hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day whenever you do get to see this video, and I will see you in the next video.